Hey everybody, how you doing? I'm at the Toledo Resort and Casino. I'm having a good night tonight. We're gonna live stream. We're gonna talk about Sony cameras tonight because basically y'all sometimes are interested in Sony cameras. So I just thought I'd talk about them a little bit and see what y'all got to say. First off, if you got a budget right around 1,500 bucks, I'm gonna tell you right now the best camera to start off with from any camera manufacturer at the moment is the Sony ZV-E10 Mark II. Sony changed the damn name of these cameras. They're terrible naming conventions, but this is a great camera. And a lot of the reasons why it's so great is not the normal reasons. Number one, normally, when I say normally, I do mean normally, a little tiny camera does not have big camera features. So, for example, all intra video, if you're going to be looking at something that can do S log 3, which is their best log, or if you're looking at something that would give you all of the extras without the minor features, that's another thing. That's what's cool about going with the ZV-10. It's just 1,100 bucks. I mean, if you really wanted to see something that's going to be like cheap but good, this is the camera because essentially what you end up with is uh, FX30 without paying for an FX30. I'm going to go through the features here in just a second, and we're going to really get deep diving into what kind of sets this apart. First and foremost, if we're going to talk about the FX30, we're going to get into the nitty gritties of it. For $1,100, you get a camera that has a lens with it that can do a lot of cool features. First off, foremost, you get a nice camera on it. But let's start here. 4K 60, 26 megapixel camera, the same as you're going to get in the Sony FX30, and 422 10-bit all intra video. There is no camera in the market right now that I know of for $1,000 that's a newer model camera that gives you all intra. Which, for a lot of people who are looking at these cameras, you're gonna be like, "What's so important about all intra? I mean, what's it gonna do for me?" What it's gonna let you do is start with a small camera and get really big camera features. So, for example, if you like to do high-end weddings, or if you want to get into that, or if you want to get into really nice blogs and stuff like that, this is going to give you that capability. Oh, shoot, that's neat. I kind of like this. Oh, look at that. Look at the live, man. That is pretty cool. That's cool. That background you see is me too. Yeah, I just went on a weird streak there. So if you look at this, you'll get the same capabilities as an FX30 when it comes to recording capabilities. S-Log 3, which means you get better tones, better everything when it comes to the video side of it. Uh, it is going to be incredible. This is not an ad for Sony, so if you're watching this is just people asking me a lot what cameras to start off with. Image quality is going to be great. You're going to actually be able to do a lot of cool things with this camera. Intuitive interface. There's a few more features I really want to get into. Uh, these processors and nothing. It just means you got a really nice camera that you're going to get really good footage off of right off the bat. The sensor is incredible on this, and this is how you would start off with a really nice camera. Uh, Creative looks. Most of you are doing like TikToks, YouTube, stuff like that. Being able to get a camera to get you super high fidelity looks and change creative looks, give it more flavor, but it's actually a nice camera. That's awesome. Another piece too is going to be the Cinetone. If you're going to load up videos for shorts and everything, having that Cinetone is just going to set you apart because you get a better look every time you're uploading videos. Autofocus, straight up. Nobody's going to beat Sony on autofocus. Be it nighttime, daytime, whatever you're doing, you're going to get the autofocus. You're going to nail it onto a person, and it's just going to kill it. It's going to be incredible, which is what I love. So for $1,100, this is a great starting point. And then you can pick up whatever camera, whatever lenses you want. So you can get some really high-end lenses and put it onto this body and get that look. You get the same look as you would with an FX30, which is a $2,300 body, which we're going to get into that one a little bit later, some of the advantages to that. We're also looking at skin tones. We are just talking about that. this handheld shooting is really cool. They have a tool that you can use for vlogging with it, and the handheld mic that comes with it gives you extra vlogging tools. So that's really really cool on this particular unit. See this microphone right here? This is called an intelligent microphone. So for all those who are streaming, who are going to be looking at doing that, this is your entry and good streaming camera for probably to start off with everything you're doing. Uh, this mic is directional too, so you can have it go forward, backwards, or all directions. So if you're talking and you're doing like a vlog thing where you're like shooting the video of the soup or whatever it is, you can do that. Or if you got someone on the other side, you can interview without having to add an extra microphone. For now, you'll always want to have an external microphone because it's better, but at least this gives you the nice features. 10-bit 422 all intra. Now, for all the Canon lovers out there, they're like, Canon is the best camera in the world. This is all the best this or Fuji or the rest. For $1,100, there's not another camera that can give you a 10-bit 422 all-intra format. What that really does for you is, say for example, you wanted to take this footage, do a really cool vertical shot, and then you also wanted to do something for TikTok, but you also want to do something for YouTube in the horizontal. Having a 422 all intro video, you get the capability to put all of that together. Hold on a second. I see a couple of y'all online. Thank you for being here. Please feel free to ask questions. I'm typing in right now so you can. I love questions. Feel free to ask anything you got on your mind. Also, speaking of that, that all intro opens up the S-Log 3. Now, the S-Log 3 can be done in lower formats, but having the all intro means that the processor, the lens, and all the rest works with this and gives you the best dynamic range. And what that really does for you is when you're doing the video and you want to get the best colors, the best shadows, the best look, that gives you it right there with the S13. Now for my vertical in shooters built into the camera, as you can see right here, you can do vertical format shooting, so you don't have to switch the footage around in post production. It's designed specifically to work with vertical footage. And then for our streaming people, this is the one that's really, really cool. For those who do live streaming, if you're going to be out and about live streaming, doing IRL live streaming, this is the camera for you. You can stream to your YouTube channel or anything where you have to get a stream code for it, and you can stream it. And technically, if you wanted to, and someone offers you a job that said, I need an SRT stream, for those who don't know what it is, don't worry about it. It's just one of those nice extra features for streaming for like ESPN, NFL, NHL, things like that. And I don't know if you'd ever be doing it, but this gives you the capability. At $1,100, this is my starter camera that will get you in. You can do work. You can have a beautiful, amazing live streaming capabilities out of this camera. And then the other piece too is it can be your main webcam. At that same $1,100 comes with a lens. You're getting a high-end webcam that will allow you to, if I remember correctly here, I believe it is 4K 4K 60. Let me check that real quick. Okay, we're over the spec side, so if you jump out of here, I'll get it. But the networking resolution, 4K 30. So yeah, you can do 4K 30 on this one if you're going to use it as a webcam, which is pretty awesome. So that'll be our first camera on our list today. As if you were going to start off with a camera, this is the camera to start off. The next on our list, for those who dropped off, is cool. We just going through cameras here. We're just going through cameras. The next on my list is going to be kind of a big jump up in price, but it's going to be worth it. So we're going to go over here, and we're going to get. So next camera, we're going to jump up another $700 for just a body, and you're looking at a couple $100 for whatever kit lens you want to get. And this is the FX30. Now, for those who may not know, this is a beast of a camera. For those who are thinking about getting into videography and you're worried that it's APS-C and the rest, I have made a living using this camera. A couple quick things on this that can be nice, cool features. You have the option for 4K 120. I got to tell you right now that 4K 120 is okay. Yeah, they took the goal away. They took the goal away. So this one actually gives you a couple extra features. You get the low light, which is amazing. You get the image, which is amazing. Now, here's the thing: between the last two cameras I told you, you're gonna have the S Cine tone, and you're also gonna have the S Log 3. Now, what makes this different is this is an all-day working cam, with the other camera is just part of the day. They both have the same sensor, but this one gives you the internal fan. This gives you the raw capability. This one also gives you the full HDMI out, and it has the option for an audio handle. So you're really going to get a big jump in camera. The LUT being able to be used directly while you are shooting is really awesome, and the LUT also goes out through the HDMI, so you could be shooting an S-Log 3, saving in an S-Log 3 in your camera, but your output from your HDMI going to a live streaming unit could be in whatever that LUT is. The advantage of that is, say for example, you're shooting for a sports person, or you're working for an executive, or you're working with somebody who's top tier, which I've done this many times. You're able to stream that into like a stream deck and have that saved. But it just kind of goes along with it. Yeah, think about this. A lot of stuff I'm telling you, it's just an amazing camera. You're also going to get some cinema modes with this now. Cine EI, flexible, and quick. Now, for those who may not know what this means, is essentially what it's going to do is record at one or two base ISO numbers. Uh, Cine EI will just you pick your base, and then you'll see what happens if you were to raise or lower the exposure based off the base for post production. Quick allows you to move those ISOs up and down, but you're going to see a quick interchangeability of it. Flexible ISO is completely different. What flexible ISO does is allows you to bake in that ISO that you're at, with it not being just locked at 800 or 2500. It will be completely locked in. Ooh. And you'll be able to move it, whatever ISO you shoot is what it's going to stay with. Now, streaming capabilities are out of here too. You're going to have autofocus. Let me show you one other thing that's really cool on these cameras. Body's built good. That's always cool. Streamline those abilities. One, these are the Type A cards. That Type A card makes a huge difference when you're recording things. You're going to be just blazing with that. It's kind of weird when I think about this for a moment. Pull that off just for a second. I'm going to talk to y'all for real. When you are streaming, when you are working with some of these cool cameras. I'm sorry. Yeah, yeah, cool. Stop vaping. I'm not vaping, bro. Thanks for throwing the comment in like 16 times. Why would I be vaping? There's somebody in the background vaping. Stop vaping. It's bad for you. All right, extra pictures. So it's comments. Uh, well, yeah. This isn't what I normally do. I teach people how to use these cameras, which is a ton of fun. I don't usually come on and do live streams myself. So for those who are looking at me like, why am I doing the live stream? Releasing to practice more than anything else, just to keep up with some of the new softwares. EVBux is one of my favorite ones to work with. I like being able to practice throwing a camera in and out, showing footage and things like that. Very cool tool to work with. I wish I had a cool subject matter to talk about tonight, but the weather is terrible here in Seattle. And if you know Seattle, you know it's terrible weather. For the homie that was on there, Theo, you typed in, I don't know how many times you typed in. Uh, that was good day. Uh, it's cool. Basically, I want to keep you up on hip on game. What cameras are best, which ones are not. If you are looking to spend some money out of your pocket, There's a lot of cool ones that just came out. It's Christmas time, so people are spending money on cameras. I'm recommending a couple ones for you. If you got money between 1,000 and 3,100 bucks. FX30 is one of the ones I recommend for you. People may or may not like the camera. It's cool with me if you do or don't. I think it's a beautiful camera. It does the job. I've been using it for the last since it came out, and at least 150 jobs later, 200 jobs later, it's been a magnificent camera and a workhorse. It doesn't fail. It just does the job, and as in a couple other features other cameras just don't have. I mean, straight up. One of the things I like about this is looking up any of the external monitors. It looks great. Uh, I rarely shoot in RAW. So for those who shoot in RAW, cool. I just not my big flavor thing right there. The biggest thing that I like about this camera is that it works with the ability of live streaming built into the camera, and I've got the 4K with it, which is beautiful, 4K 60, and it's an all intro format. Beautiful camera, beautiful way to go. Now, what are we looking at here next? Next camera on the list, if you're going to jump up in cameras, it's still going to be an FX series camera, so FX2. Now, there are people who have hated this camera since it came out, and I don't blame you for hating it because it's an A74 rebodied with a new processor and stuff. If you did not like the A74, this will not be your bag right here. For those who did like the A74, which a lot of us did, who lived off of it, so I have an A74 and I have an FX30 as a combo unit. This by far is what I wish I would have had in the A74. I do some photography, a lot of videography, the ability to still do flash photography off of a camera. And in the world of hybrids, we've got the ZR, the C50 that just came out, and both of those cannot do flash photography. Which basically to me, you're not a hybrid camera. That's why I don't call the FX30 a hybrid because it's not a hybrid. You can't do flash photography, which means you have to turn down a lot of jobs. Um, this you can, and the image that comes off this camera is absolutely gorgeous. So that's a huge plus. Um, I think one of the areas that this benefits everybody if you're looking at a camera right now, with $300 off, it puts it in a really reasonable price at $26.99. You do get RAW, you get full frame sensor, you get a little bit of a bump on low light, which is going to give you that 4,000 ISO for me, which is really cool. I've shot as high as 8,000 with my A74s. Haven't had any issues with that option. The 4K 60, the 10-bit, I've already had. So if you've never shot with that, you're not going to miss it. But if you have shot with it, you're going to love it. It's got the internal fan, which basically lets it last for all day. So if you're like a streamer, or if you're doing like TikToks or any of those from your desktop, you're going to be able to stream with this all day long. If you're in vertical orientation, it's going to work really good for you too. And if you've got audio coming in for like a professional line, this is probably the best under $3,000 camera for all of this because you're going to have the ability to shoot all day long. The fan will work really well, so it won't overheat even in like 100-degree weather. It just will not overheat. You have the ability to change out media as you're going and keeping all your functionality. Uh, Batteries is not a big issue because the USB-C that's on it is a PD USB-C, and for that, it allows the camera to keep going all day long with a V-mount battery while keeping a regular battery in it. So if you switch out your V-mount battery for your monitor and everything else, you don't have to stop using the camera, and you don't really have to be plugged into anything. And then for those who are streaming, who are master streamers, you can stream from the camera. Now, this is something that Sony's been doing from all their lines, like a $1,000 camera all the way up to their flagships, is the ability to stream. And this is pretty huge. If you can stream from your camera anywhere to YouTube, it's like a 4K stream. That's super nice, and that's one of the things this camera is beautiful. You can also rig it up pretty high. So, for example, this is essentially how I rig up my camera for interviews. Is I'll have a nice lens on it. I'll have a V-mount battery with it. I'll have an external monitor. I The handle I have a wraparound from Small Rig, which works really good. I have a cage. It's really nice to have that. Let's take a look what they say on the feature side. Ah, cinematic look. There's no question mark. It has a cinematic look. If you've ever used any of the Sony cameras, the cinematic look on them is absolutely crazy. Oh, you're back again. Hey, man, missed you. Uh, Sorry about that. It does have the cinematic look. It gives you a good feel. You can hook cinema lenses to it, and you're going to get a spectacular look. And it can be a tool to work with higher end video cameras. It has the ability to also have stuff go over the main concept, which is really not that important for most. Looking at sensor sizes here, this is where things get to me. This is boring stuff to a lot of people, but this is pretty cool. You can actually just really dive into the camera. You can put your LUTs in, so if you have a specific look you want to look, you can see what it's looking like. And you can record the video that way or not. Your choice. Tons of lenses, anamorphic de-squeeze features. There's an app that goes with it too that gives you extra features on top of it. You do have two screw-in points down here. This is kind of huge. The small things that Sony does are huge on the back side of your workflow. If you have a professional tripod, you're going to have the ability to mount it in both positions on here. And that's really cool. Now, the rest of this is just like the Big Six doesn't impress me because, I mean, it does keep you in the work. Take that back. Big Six does impress me. I'll take that back. At first, I was kind of a hater of this. This is the Big Six. Let me pull this up for you. So this is the Big Six. So if you're looking at the Big Six, it gives you this information. So the 23, the 800 ISO, what you're doing. At first, I was not a big fan of this, but when I've worked with it long enough and see the path that Sony's trying to get you to, it's to the Sony Venice, and that's when I kind of woke up to what Sony's doing. There's a $1,700 camera that has the Big Six in it. There's this $2,800 camera that has the Big Six in it. And then there are many other higher end cameras, all the way up to the Burano and the Venice, which is an $80,000 camera, has a Big Six in it. So they're trying to give you professional videography tools all the way down on this level of a camera, which I think is phenomenal. So for those who are interested, that's a good tool that this has with it. The eyepiece, it's just nice to have. If you're doing flash photography or any photography, having the eyepiece is great. The 3.6 million dot piece, I don't care. As long as I can see what it mainly looks like, I'm going to make my adjustments in post anyway. I just want to make sure I got a good starting point. Big Six, not thinking about it too much. The heat management on this is next level. I don't know if y'all have had an opportunity to play with a lot of the cameras with fans in them, but sorry, I went to ADHD mode. The heating issue is huge. I really wanted the Panasonic to outdo the Sony once they had a fan in it, and they didn't. And I will see with this new update if they do. But this new feature with the Sony and their fans, since the FX series came with the FX3 and the FX30s, it's it's unbelievable what this does for long event streaming. I have friends who, especially being here in Seattle, that are overseas, and their families overseas, and there'll be long events going on, and they normally are streaming from their cell phone. Now their cell phone's going to run out of battery, and it's going to do its thing. It's just not going to be at 100%, and it gets hot sometimes, and it just dies on a live stream. But you take this camera, the FX2 or any of the FX series cameras, it can live stream the whole entire day long. So you can hook this on to, for example, for those who stream Twitch, TikTok, and others straight from your desktop, being able to hook the USB-C cable to this and then just stream all day long, have the fan going in it internally, and it never overheats. This is going to be kind of game changing for you because you can stream in 4K directly from the camera without a capture card. And technically, because if you've got the handle with it, you can have XLR audio and two microphones at that. So you and another person there can have an XLR microphone. So two of you could be streaming. And you can talk on a professional microphone. You can put a shotgun microphone above your head, any one of the nice ones, and not have to have an audio interface because it's built into the camera. You can also record that one for later so you can do whatever you want with it. And you can start doing that as low as $2,200. Technically, you can right around there. $2,200 is where you can start at. This is a cool piece with Sony, being able to have the camera go all day long. I know people who stream like 7 hours, 8 hours straight, and a lot of them have jumped up to the Blackmagic cameras and the A.P.C and the others have built-in fans and spent a ton of money, but don't have the autofocus on the other features. Whereas the Sony, you have the autofocus, you have the other features with it, so you're ahead of the game per se. And that's kind of the reason why I like these cameras. Like, for staying under $3,000, so $3,100 mark, three different cameras. So you got the ZVE10 Mark II. That's a good start. And you've got the FX30, and then you got the FX2. These all three cameras, professional level cameras, two of them have a built-in fan, which means you can go all day long at 4K at the highest resolution and record and stream and put an output to the HDMI and their full HDMI. Two of them have raw outputs, so if you wanted to take yourself and go from streaming to a professional set with a nice monitor and really turn this into a living, those two cameras can do it. You want to go on a red carpet and you want to stream from a red carpet, or you want to take video on a red carpet, these cameras can do it. And I've done it before from the red carpets. It's beautiful. It's amazing what you can do with it. So if you have questions on these cameras I've been talking about, feel free to ask them. I'll check the comments. Person to me, I appreciate all those who jumped in and took a look. To the guy named Theo Q Flora, I got a raspy voice, bro. It's just the way it goes. I got a raspy voice. I smoked a lot of cigarettes when I was younger, back when it was cool. Yeah, like 1994 through 2000, which was stupid. Thank you for the like. I appreciate it. So I apologize for the raspy voice. That's not going to go away. I'm stuck with it for life now. And I used to sing, so that's a problem there. So does anyone have questions on cameras? I don't care if it's a Sony, a Canon, a Panasonic, anything. I'll answer the questions you have on the cameras. If anyone's got questions on how to use any type of camera, editing software, all the rest, I'm here for you. Feel free to ask any questions you have. Let me put that in the comments now. So you'll see in the comment there, please feel free to ask any questions you have on any cameras. I'm sincere on that. I'm here to help. I love the community of videographers and all the rest who are out here do streaming. I just want to help people get into the right things. For those who like Canons, Panasonics, and the rest, I get it. Some have brands they like better than others. I personally am a Sony shooter that shot with Blackmagic and Canon and the rest, and I'm down for any of the cameras. I can tell you the strengths and weaknesses in all of them. A little bit about my portfolio. I shoot usually 2 to 3 times a week, some form of video shoot. Segments can be on a national affiliate like Fox or It could be exclusively for a client or a brand to do for internal usage. So either way, I can shoot. Even right now, like the service I'm using is EVMux. I will turn EVMux on and off throughout the year depending on what the client's needs are. And this is one of the things that I talk about too when it comes to streaming. We could put the nice Sony camera up, put it on this, have vertical shooting, and we can do this. And this is, as you can see, I'm on vertical live right now, and this is not being shot on my cell phones. This is being using the software, and I'm actually streaming to two of the accounts I have. So I have one on A.P.C. Productions, and the other one is A.P.C. Audio and Video. So they're two entirely different accounts. So I've got one person watching on one, and I got three people watching on the Northwest Productions account. So if you have any questions on these cameras, I'd love to help you. Let's look at some other brands too. While we're at it, let's look at some other brands. So another brand some people are really interested in is Canon. So if you're interested in Canon, that's cool. And part of the reason why I didn't go with Canon is because they don't have a camera that's in that range. So I talked about the Sony ones, and there's going to be some people who are going to hate on me for not bringing up Canon. So I'm going to bring up some Canon cameras. Whatever. Shop all mirrorless. So they got a lot of mirrorless cameras, but they don't have a whole lot that can do for the same money what these cameras can do. So there's a full frame camera out there now from Canon, and it's a pretty cool camera, except for, let me get to the specs here. That's pretty cool. Where are my video specs at? Thanks for sticking with me. I just want to get to the video specs here. These are all high efficiency modes. All right, so we're going to talk about the Canon one, the reason why I don't recommend the Canon. All right, here we go. What's up, guys? Let's kind of add in this scene. Share. So the R8. $1,400 for the camera. It's a 24 megapixel camera. If we get right down into some of the tech specs, which is one of the things I care about, and I'm picky about this only because if you're going to have the camera, you want to have the capabilities. This one only uses SD cards, and you're really just, you can do 4K 60 cropped, and you can also do 4K in all intra, but it's time-lapse movies. It's not full all intra like the Sonys, which is big difference. Both of these can do 120, and then apparently this one can get up to about 150 frames per second. But it's okay. And here, once again, the all intra is time-lapse movies. These are things that kind of bother me. Now, do they have a high output? They do. But I mean, if you're looking at the Canons, they're just not they're not the same in specs. They're pretty cool specs, but it's just not the same. One, if you're gonna have all eye, I want it to be something I can use all the time. These are all just specs on it. You know, if you got a crop in and all the rest. The R8, if you're gonna go Canon, go R8. I mean, it's gonna be a good camera, but it's not gonna be the best. You're not gonna be able to stream directly from it. Um, let's look at the overview on this real quick. I mean, it's a full frame camera. It's nice, but it's not going to be able to last as long for doing the video as the Sonys are. And then this is picture first. When I look for something that's a video camera from Canon, I'm just not seeing one at the same levels, same capabilities. It's all photo first. If you wanted to get something in video, which this does do full HD, 180 frames per second, it's pretty cool. It does have an uncropped 4K 60, which is pretty cool, but will not run that long at 4K 60. And it still has a cap on the recording of up to 2 hours. If you're someone who's doing recordings for long periods of time, that makes a huge difference. Now, I do like the fact that you can use the USB-C to connect it to your computer for live streaming. But how long will it last before it either heats up or runs out of power, where the Sony will last longer? They do a log 3 video on here instead of a Canon log 2. Canon log 2 is their better log. Sony doesn't cripple your log. So Sony doesn't make you go to an older log. And that's huge in my opinion. Because, I mean, if you're looking at an older log, I mean, no one wants to buy a camera and have an older log system. It's just not the way it goes. No one wants that. Everyone wants an opportunity to have, like, the best log there is. All right, cool. We've been at this for 40 minutes. I appreciate everybody's been watching. I'm going to take a break for a second, and then I'm going to come back and do another live. This one is just going to be, relaxing, talking about cameras, things like that. Catch you later. Peace.